First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country.
I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments
This is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms and back that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that, but I disagree. But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as prone to criminality.
People for 3 decades on this.
Gentlemen, time is.
Look, you want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan,
Look,
please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get to go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member.
This dude a firecracker, bro.
One member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair,
Mr. Homan,
you work for me. I'm a taxpayer.
It's hard to rock when your dive is full of trouble. It's hard to rock when your dive is full of trouble. It's hard to rock when your dive is full of trouble.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If
parents.
I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
It's chilling what he just said. You realize that when he says, yes, families can be deported together, what he is saying is that U.S. citizens can be deported. What he is saying is if the parent is undocumented and they have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens. Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, you know, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as deputy chief of staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means your family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, you know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out. Yeah, I mean, I echo all of that, right? I mean, we get the government that we vote for as a country, and the majority of the country apparently voted for this. And, you know, I think it's really loud and clear that what he said, he meant. And if you look at Homan's background, he was a contributor to Project 2025. He was a police officer, which I find really rich because he was appointed by a convicted felon. He also was a United States Border Patrol agent, a special agent with the former Immigration and Naturalization Service. So this is his thing. This is his background. But what I would like to point out is that there is no correlation between undocumented people and a rise in crime. That's statistically accurate. Immigrants, including undocumented immigrants, are less likely to commit crimes in the United States. So this notion somehow that it's about national security, I think is just false.
"32-year-old Catherine Steinle was shot and killed at the end of last month. Undocumented immigrant Juan Lopez Sanchez confessed to a reporter that he shot her, but said it was an accident.
Well, no, we have looked at it very deeply, and what the research shows is that there's no evidence that immigrants are either more or less likely to commit crimes than anyone else in the population. The studies that claim to find that immigrants are somehow more law-abiding than Americans are based on very flawed data because that does not identify correctly necessarily what someone's immigration status is. What we do know is that there are certain types of crime that are very closely associated with illegal immigration. Drug crimes, gang crimes, smuggling, trafficking, identity theft. So that the areas of the country that have those kinds of problems need to have some mechanism for work and they have a legitimate public safety reason for working with immigration enforcement. But you know, I don't think that's really the most relevant policy question for lawmakers here, and that is, we know that some illegal immigrants are here committing crimes. So what do we do with those illegal immigrants who are committing crimes? How do we handle that? You know, obviously, it's not true that immigrants don't commit crimes. Of course they do. And again, the issue is, how do we handle that fraction of the immigrant population that has been committing crimes and has been contributing to crime rates in our communities? The logical answer is they should be removed. I mean, crime is not a job Americans won't do. There's no reason to allow people who are here in defiance of our laws to stay here if they are contributing to crime in our communities. And again, it does exist. It needs to be acknowledged, and law enforcement agencies need to be cooperating to make sure that they are finding those criminal aliens who are preying on people in the communities and deporting them as expeditiously as possible. And the problem is that there are certain areas like San Francisco where political leaders have imposed policies on law enforcement officers to block immigration enforcement. And the people they end up protecting in those cases are actually the criminals because they're allowed to stay in the community and continue preying on people there. So again, if we can't agree on removing illegal immigrants who've committed crimes, then who can we deport?
Things about the Donald Trump comments is how it highlights the divide within the Republican Party and how, you know, Republicans are struggling to respond either positively or negatively to him. And ultimately, that's really going to drive the policymaking agenda, is sort of how that party sorts out its conflict over immigration. So in that sense, it's been a little bit productive in that sense. But, you know, it does distract from real, you know, to focus so much on immigrants and crime does distract from the issues that do dominate immigration policy.
Jessica Vaughn, what's your take on that? Do you think this is helping the debate, helping the conversation move forward?
Well, the advocates in our country for giving amnesty to illegal aliens and for expanding immigration would like people to believe that everyone who is coming over here is harmless and here for good reasons.
Day one of the highly anticipated trial, prosecutors revealing chilling details about how they believe Jose Ibarra murdered 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley while she was out for a run in February.